Last week on Pokemon Cooked League, the Heatran of Justice did not have the firepower from his special attackers required to squash Women's Assault Vested Araquanid, while the Landorus Dating Simulator got swiped left on before she could even talk to Gen 7's Chi-Yu. Will the Landorus Dating Simulator be able to make the Heatran of Justice's heart quake? Hello, welcome to the first match of Week 3. We have the Heatran of Justice versus the Landorus Dating Simulator. And looking at these mons, I think that Volcanion looks really strong here. There are no electric or ground type attackers or even rock type attackers, at least as stab moves. So defensively, it has pretty good value here. And more importantly, fire and water is just kind of a really difficult coverage for the Heatran Justice to deal with. Fire hits the Whimsicott, the Shift Tree, and the Chien-Pao super effectively, and water can threaten super effective damage against the Heatran. And even things against like the Zoroark, yeah, like you may not like if you like Steam Eruption to something that's like Zoroark, like Volcanion is so powerful that like I wouldn't be surprised if it has a chance to Oko or take the Zoroark down to Sash here, because Zoroark is so frail, and Volcanion Steam Eruption is just such a powerful move with such high special attack stat. And speaking of the Hisuian Zoroark, I think that could be a pretty big factor here. Seeing the several fighting weak mons and the several fighting types like the Lucario and the Marshadow, I think making use of the disguise or playing mind games around it, even if you don't have the Zoroark out, like let's say you have the Chien-Pao out, it probably wouldn't be the best thing to disguise out. It would probably be Heatran, because that ability doesn't prop up as often as a fighting weak mon. And then you can steal some turns here with doing that here. And looking at leads, I kind of just want to lead the Volcanion here. And if I am Landorus Dating Simulator, and it's just like what is Volcanion most scared of? Maybe it is like the Zoroark here. And like maybe you just have something that can like something that's generally useful. I don't like leading Landorus because of just the fear of accidentally proccing Defiant on the not the Annihilate, the Primeape here. So, but I wouldn't hate maybe it's okay leading Primeape if you're with Landorus if you're like faster. Like both of these mons are faster. How fast is Primeape? Oh no, Primeape's just faster than Volcanion, so you can't really do that. But yeah, maybe something like the Rotom or something here. I don't know. But on the other side, you have to have something ready for the Volcanion here. And what is your best answer against Volcanion? Maybe it is the Primeape here. Or maybe it's hard to say, but you got to have an answer for Volcanion is my point here. Let's get this started. And we do see the classic Wind Rider and the Tailwind lead here, and I would have to imagine that but a +1 knockoff, I can't imagine KO's Volcanion. Volcanion is a very physically bulky mon here. It would do a lot of damage though, so like if you can like trade like a mon for what's it called, just to soften up the Volcanion for the just for the next mon can kill it. That's like not a horrible trade here. And we do see the Lucario here, and the interesting thing about Lucario here is that it can bullet punch, so that you can like bullet punch and like potentially break like let's say a Whimsicott Sash here, and then have the Heat Wave Oko before anything bad happens. But obviously the speed boosted Shift Tree is definitely faster than the Volcanion. I wonder if there's any chance there's this like follow me on Lucario. This follow me would actually be really nice here, because I would imagine this is just a Tailwind plus knockoff here, or even just trying to fish for a Leaf Blade crit. So like, you resist both grass. Lucario follow me, you resist both grass and dark, and actually get an attack boost if you get hit by a dark move here. And then like Heat Wave to just keep the Volcanion safe. We'll see. Like that ate that so easily. Ooh. Heat Wave does in fact activate Wind Rider. I didn't think about that. And that's a ooh, that's pretty big. That's really big here because now the next Leaf Braid or knockoff will be able to KO the Shift Tree here. And not only that, because you have Tailwind up, if you are the, oh my gosh, so what's it called? The Heatran Justice, you can send in a Mon with double speed to threaten Lucario. Something like the Heatran itself would definitely be able to threaten it with like a Lava Plume. Well, not Lava Plume, that's like the spread move, but like something even simple as like a Flamethrower. But yeah, you do get the attack raise on the Meteor Mash here. I'm seeing that it is Meteor Mash, makes me wonder if there is no Bullet Punch, and which would be pretty bad here to not have Bullet Punch, I'd say. Because again, you're no longer faster than things, and you just got an attack boost from the Meteor Mash. You got lucky on that aspect, but so like a +1, like just like a +1 Bullet Punch would be able to do some really solid damage before it gets off. And seeing that the Shift Tree is not Life Orb and not loaded Dicing Leaf Blade, maybe this is also Sash. And we do have the Primeape here. Primeape is a mon that is just bulky enough to take these hits with the Eviolite here, and is strong enough to threat, even though it's not fully evolved. Like a close combat will definitely suit itself very well against the Lucario here. And now, if you are the Landorus dating simulator, you got to figure out how to slow this game down. You got to have a way to slow down to just stall at the Tailwind turns as efficiently as possible here. And that's kind of a rough thing to do. You can like double protect this turn. I don't think that's like a bad call. I think that's a pretty good call actually. Just start getting those turns down, because yeah, you could see some setup on the most likely the Annihilate, but I don't think that's what's going to happen here. I think he just wants to keep on pressing buttons. And then next turn you can like, I don't even know here. You can't switch into Landorus because then you get the Defiant boost. So you're subtracting an attack boost from the Shift Tree to give a Primeape the attack boost. So that's kind of rough. So it is definitely a tricky situation, but you still have the Marshadow in the back, which could maybe have some priority moves to like, maybe you can just trade some HP here, and then like priority move from the Marshadow can finish him on off, and then you're back in not a bad spot here. And we actually do see a Fire Punch from the Annihilate, and not a Fighting type move. And that makes me think that this Annihilate doesn't have a Fighting type move. Because the reward of like getting this right on the Fire Punch is only 29%. That's just like not enough, I feel like, to be worth the gamble. And Fire Punch is not going to KO Lucario. A weak non-stab move is not going to do it, even though Lucario is not a strong mon here. But yeah, you did get the Marshadow in fairly safely here. And if you have a Fighting type priority move, you can at least break the potential Focus Sash on the Shift Tree here. And what do you bring in next? So you have a quote-unquote answer for the Shift Tree if you have Mach Punch. So like, I would just, jeez. Hopefully you're, again, if this Lucario has a priority move, you're not in a bad spot here, but the fact that he switched out makes me think it probably doesn't. And here comes the Landorus, just saying, hey, I need to slow down this Shift Tree somehow, even if the Primeape does get a bit angrier here. And the Landorus is probably seems to be in an okay defensive position, at least against the Primeape, even the +1, because, you know, but it resists fighting. It's just even a +1 Shift Tree is still pretty threatening here. Oh, it's Clear Body. Okay, I mean Clear Amulette. Okay, so yeah, this is just an absolute disaster. So now you just gave a Primeape an attack boost, and the Shift Tree is still as powerful as ever. Just 2 turns of Tailwind left. Somehow survive through these. You have a shot here, but you know, survive this turn, double protect, and maybe you can start clawing your way back in here with if you have like some faster mons here. Oh, but we do have Ice Punch. And neither protect on either side. And yeah, and this is just an absolute disaster of a played game from Fallon, which here for himself saying I may be stupid, and last turn going I didn't. First turn like I didn't know it did that. It's not a great. It's not great here. And now, geez, you're down 3-5 here with one more turn of tail end, and the Primeape is actually probably Primeape is at least on paper the fastest mon on the field with being full health and +1 attack boost. So like that's already a big enough issue, and like maybe you could stall at the last turn of Tailwind, KO the Shift Tree, but like that the Shift Tree may not be that big of a problem if you can just like double protect this turn. But then how do you deal with the Primeape and I don't know the other fully healthy mons in the back here? These are a lot. These are a lot of Joes. But yeah, we did send in. These are probably the best 2 months to send in now. You got to have your mon that can actually outspeed Shift Ray for the future, and then you got to have your mon that can actually threaten the Annihilate Primeape here. But I have a feeling this Primarina is not gonna have Protect on it. I think it might be Assault Vest. I'm gonna make the call here. That's game. And neither protect. I'm on it. Protects again. And this is just another reason why Protect is so important. It's not even just about just like positioning and pivoting and just protecting your mons. It could just be stalling out things like Tailwind. And Tailwind has been a core part of this game plan since week 1 of the Heatran and Justice. We've seen this exact Whimsicott Shift lead do big damage before. And this is just gonna be a 5-0 here. And I didn't think you'd go Wind Rider. What did you think this was gonna go? That's just like do you mean just like the core in general, which I can kind of understand because you know the grass types are just not that good against Volcanion especially. But yeah, that was a disaster. I don't know what else to say. And so congrats to the Heatran Justice for a dominant win. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.